Did you know you can maximize your profits by selling seasonal items? Well, believe it or not, there are some items that go through the roof in terms of price and demand depending on the season. And we're going to talk about more of that today. Hi guys, my name's Simon. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and today we're going to talk about seasonal sales and seasonal items and how you can make even more money by selling seasonal items and selling things at the right time and also buying them at the right time. I always say the money is made in the buy. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So what do I mean by seasons? Well, I mean in terms of what are the seasonal sales that happen throughout the year. You know, throughout the year, there are many different types of sales, many different events that happen in the world that mean certain items sell extremely well. And I've got a big list here, which I'm going to go through, and we're going to talk about what kind of items sell during those kind of the seasonal sales. Now, one great way to find out what items sell well and what kind of sales happen is by actually going into your local supermarket, like one of the bigger ones. And oftentimes you will find that they have a seasonal aisle. And you'll find they're doing things like Christmas, Valentine's Day, all the usual sales. And this is a good way to learn like what is the hot item, and you can see what kind of items they sell in those seasons. Conversely, you can go to the discount aisle and find what items are perhaps now out of season and they are trying to clear the stock. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is buying things that are out of season this year and waiting for them to come back into season next year. So a great one might be right now, maybe garden supplies are now going a little bit out of season as the weather gets worse. Things like seeds, anything to do with gardening tools, things like that. You'll find that in the discount aisles in supermarkets. So if you have the facility to buy and store these, either the money and the space, you can buy them now and then sell them next year when the garden season comes back in sort of the spring or summertime. So that is one strategy, buying on when the things are on clearance and holding them until the next season comes around. Like I said, you do require a bit of money, it requires a bit of space and a bit of forward thinking. However, you can actually just buy some items that you know are going to do well for certain seasons. And I'm going to run down my list. I've got a list here of all the different sales and the different things you can sell during those seasons. So let's start. So the first one is Valentine's Day, an obvious one. And we're doing it through order here. It should be in order of the dates that they appear. Valentine's Day, obviously what does well during Valentine's Day: chocolates, perfumes, jewelry, that kind of thing. You know, things like balloons, gifts, all that kind of stuff do very well. So that is one of the first sort of seasonal sort of sales that happens. And the whole idea behind all these seasonal sales is that you need to be buying the items in anticipation of these sales and getting them into Amazon ready for them. Now, admittedly, the next few I'm going to go through are very specific sales. They only happen for a very short period, so you do need to be careful and not go too heavy, but you can make some big profits on these during these sales. So the next one is Easter. Okay, what does well at Easter? Well, obviously Easter eggs do very well. Anything related to Easter can sell very well. Again, you can make a lot of money by buying Easter eggs in the supermarkets and then selling them on Amazon. I did it this year, made a tidy profit, and yeah, you know, the supermarkets sell them for really cheap and it can be a great profit. However, after Easter, the prices of those Easter eggs go down. However, you'd be surprised, people still pay a premium for Easter eggs even after Easter, but obviously the demand is going to go through the floor. So the next two are fairly obvious as well. We've got Mother's Day. What does well at Mother's Day? You know, things that you buy for your mum, whether it's gifts or jewelry or chocolate or a bottle of wine. Not that you can sell wine on Amazon. All these kind of giftable things that do very well. Father's Day is the same as well. What do you buy for your dad? You know, aftershave, pair of slippers, a scarf, something, you know, whatever you buy for your parents. So those are two, again, reasonably good sales. As we're going through, we're getting into some of the better sales, but these are some of the ones that you can make some money on. If you skip these sales, they're not end of the world, but you can actually make some extra profit during these sales. So the next sale, actually, I consider quite a big one, and I've actually neglected it in the past few years, but I've been going pretty hardcore on it this year, and that is the back to school. So in the UK, the kids are going to be going back to school probably in 2 or 3 weeks. They're on the summer holiday right now. And what do they need when they go back to school? They need backpacks, they need pencil cases, they need stationery, they need all sorts of stuff like that, shoes, socks, clothing, all this kind of stuff for back to school. So if you can buy all this stuff and get it into Amazon, you can sell this stuff for a high premium and make a big fat profit. Now, before we move on to what I consider the biggest sale of the year, if you can guess what it is, we're going to talk about my sponsor, BuyBot Pro. Now, BuyBot Pro is a cutting edge deal analysis tool, so you can make sure that when you're looking at an Amazon product that you're actually making a profit and not running into any problems. So the great thing is you can just put your costs of goods in and it will scan the product, look up for things like IP complaints or sales per month and all sorts of things like that, and it will tell you whether this is a good product or not, whether it's a good buy or not. Now, the reason I like it so much is because every single thing, whether it's IP, sales, profit, ROI, has a traffic light system of obviously red, amber and green, and this, especially if you're a beginner, can keep you out of trouble because you obviously know if it's green then it's good and if it's red then it's bad and you should not buy. So it's a fantastic tool, guys. You should definitely check it out. There's a link in the description for BuyBot Pro. Now let's talk about the biggest sale of the year, Q4. So what is Q4? It is the run up to Christmas in October, November and December. Obviously December is the biggest one, and this is obviously for Christmas, where you can make absolutely crazy profits. So why is Q4 so good? Well, one, demand goes up for all sorts of items, pretty much across the board. Demand goes up for all items. And what happens when demand goes up? If there's no supply, then the price goes up. So that's the first thing that's great about Q4. Now, there are certain categories that sell even more during Q4. Things like perfumes, gift sets, aftershaves, jewelry, anything like that, anything that's giftable, toys, video games, anything like that basically does extremely well. And these can go from 50 sales a month all the way up to 1,000 sales a month. So we're talking 10, 20, 30 times the normal sales volume. So absolutely crazy. And what happens when this happens? The price goes up as well. So people are buying lots of the items and they're paying a premium for it. So it is the bumper time of the year to make fat profits. In fact, if you prepare well enough for it, you can make more money in October, November, December than you can make for the entire year. So obviously you need to prepare for it, you need to buy the correct products for it and be ready to hold out for the best prices and make a massive profit in December. So there are other things to consider as well when you're selling things on Amazon that are not specific sales but more seasons. So obviously we just talked about Christmas. Christmas is in winter, so winter is a season you should be thinking about. What sells well in winter? Well, woolly hats, gloves, scarves, jackets. I don't know why I'm doing hand gestures here, but all the stuff that keeps you warm in winter does very well. What sells terribly during this time? Sun cream, outdoor stuff, caps, things like that, fans, whatever, so obviously we have the polar opposite of what does well in summer does poor in winter, and what does well in winter does poor in summer. So you can think about obviously winter, spring as well. What does well in spring? Gardening tools, anything that's like running us up into summer. People will start picking up sun creams, t-shirts, outdoor stuff, sandals, etc. Then obviously summer comes along and sun creams go through the roof, anything like that, sandals, flip-flops, all that kind of stuff does extremely well in summer. Pools, things like that as well. So just think about what you normally buy in these different seasons and you'll have an idea as well. And the final one is autumn. Actually no idea what sells in autumn, but obviously we've got autumn. Autumn's in the run up to winter, so probably again coats, sort of outdoor things that keep you warm will be pretty popular, and the sales for those will be climbing until we actually get fully into winter. So guys, hopefully that's opened your mind a little bit to opportunities that you can make on Amazon, how you can make extra money. And you can make extra money just because obviously if you time it right, you can sell a product for a premium price when the demand is the highest. And like I say, this is where you can make those extra profits. So it's not just a regular item that sells all year round, it's an item that absolutely peaks in demand during a specific sale or season. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe as well. I'd really appreciate that. Do you buy seasonal items? Leave me a comment below if you do, if you're big into seasons, or have you been sleeping on them? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.